Hello and welcome, future students and families of CHS. I'm Guinevere Megrabing and I am in 11th grade. But before we begin, we would like to acknowledge that we are on the ancestral lands of the Coast Salish people, which includes the Duwamish, the Muckleshoot, Suquamish, and Tulalip tribes. Their stewardship of this land and its surrounding waters in the past, present, and future makes it possible for us to be here. Now, let's get started with this open house event. First, with some fun facts on how we do different better. Did you know Cleveland has a wait list of more than 100 students? We also have one of the highest graduation rates in Seattle public schools. Our staff is also one of the most diverse in the district and also works hard on social justice and racial equity. Before I let you know what our agenda is today, here is a treat from our drumline team. I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. Also, I apologize for the commotion in my household right now. But besides the point, that is irrelevant. Here is our agenda for today. We will first start with a presentation, then follow with a school tour, and lastly, at the very end, we will have a Q&A with our student panel. It'll give your chance for you and your students to ask any questions that you have. All at the same time, if you do have questions during the presentation, please feel free to type it in the chat, and I'm pretty sure some administrators will be able to get to you much more quickly. Now here I'll be passing it on to Trissa. Trissa, I hate to be the one that says it. You're muted.
Oh, yeah. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our live event today. I apologize for any technical difficulties. I'm producing this. Let me go and fix the screen really quick. I'm producing this as well as presenting, so I apologize for anything in advance. I just want to thank everyone for being here. I want to start by introducing some of the staff that you'll hear from today. So our wonderful principal, Miss Catherine Brown, our SOLS assistant principal, Miss Megan Claus, our SOED assistant principal, Mr. Pollard. You'll hear a little bit from our athletic director, John Hughes, in a video. You'll also be able to hear from our activities coordinator, Mr. Casey Campbell. I am Miss Trissa Ibarra. I'm currently the 9th grade counselor. You'll also be able to hear from our SOED counselor and our current head counselor, Miss Abe. You'll hear from our SOLS counselor, Miss Kimiai, and then you'll also hear from our counseling intern, Miss Corvalli Whammer. We also are happy to have two of our enrollment services staff with us today, Dereche. He will be showing you guys the enrollment process a little bit later. You'll also get the chance to hear from our current students on their experience at Cleveland, and just kind of get to know more about what is happening here. As some of you guys heard from Gwen, this is a live event, so you do have the opportunity to answer questions in the Q&A box. If you'll see the little question icon, it should be on the top right. If you're on a different device, it may be on the bottom left. If you are able to click that, you're going to go ahead and type the question into the window, and then it'll pop up under the My Questions tab. You can also close the window by clicking the Q&A icon. Throughout the presentation today, some of our administration, and particularly Ms. Claus, will be answering the questions that you are putting in there, and they'll be posting them for either everyone to see or will be responding directly to you. Additionally, I know a lot of our families do not speak a different language at home, and so we want to just highlight the fact that if you would like to turn on subtitles or captions in a different language, you can put the gear icon and you're able to select your preferred language. So you can see it typed out in the bottom, so you are able to understand more effectively. Additionally, we like to keep connected with our families here at Cleveland. We use multiple avenues for that because we want to make sure that we're building positive relationships with not only our students, but with our families. We use Naviance for our high school and beyond plan, which is a graduation requirement. We build lessons to put out through advisory, and that is one of our ways we stay connected. Additionally, a lot of our families use Remind. So that is a text app where teachers are able to send text directly to families of everyone in their classes. That's a really effective tool. This year we started using Talking Points, which is another text app, but it's a real-time translation text with families. So we can text in English and it'll be translated in your preferred language. And then when you respond in your language, it will be translated back to English for us. This has been a really effective tool for us to communicate with families that there may have been a language barrier for in the previous years. Something that we do differently here at Cleveland is we use Echo as our grading platform in place of the source. Where most people come from, they use the source to check grades so that they can kind of keep up to date with what's going on. We use Echo in place of that, and it's also you'll get the grading and assignments on there, but you also have the ability to track the students' current progress in all of their classes. We also have many social media pages for people to follow. We have a YouTube, a Facebook, so please feel free to follow those accounts and stay connected with us if you end up being a prospective Eagle. I now am going to be passing it to our wonderful principal, Ms. Brown.
Thanks so much, Ms. Ibarra, and thanks so much for your work today to put together a really great presentation for our prospective students and families. I am Catherine Brown. I'm the proud principal at Cleveland High School. I'm just going to tell you on a personal note that I've been working at Cleveland for 18 years. I've been here as a teacher, a dean, an assistant principal, and now a principal. I'm also going to tell you that my daughter graduated from Cleveland last year. She's up at the UW now, majoring in biochemistry. Many of our staff and administration have chosen to put their students here at Cleveland, and so it's a very the goodness of our school is something that we take, all of us, really personally, and the sense of wanting to get it right for students and families is something that is lives in our homes as well as in our work. As you can see from the slide, we have some important values and priorities that guide us at Cleveland, and what I'll just highlight from that is that we want learning to be patterns. Students should want to learn at school and want to learn about the topics that they're being taught. into. We also believe students should have exposure to some STEM pathways, not because that's what their job will be, but because, though that does sometimes happen, of course, but because it's that kind of exposure that deepens the learning. And of course, we know that Black and Brown students have been historically underrepresented in ways, and that's a huge part of our mission as well, is to create those opportunities where they have not been as accessible. You've already written developing educators of color, and just the leadership of students, I hope, is something you'll see for yourself today. I think I'll go to the next slide, please. Thank you. I also want to talk with you about just our STEM pathways. That's a focus of a lot of curiosity for folks. There's essentially, because we have an 8-period day, which makes us also kind of another way we do different better, that creates space for students to take these electives all 4 years that continue their learning and their exposure to particular STEM fields. So students can choose as they come into 9th grade between computer science or the biomedical life sciences. It is possible to change. It happens. We don't find it happens a lot. Students tend to stick with their pathway, but those changes have happened. It is also possible, when space is available, for students to take an elective in the other pathway, a different one than they've chosen to stay with. And you'll hear more about those things. And I think at this time, in fact, I believe an interesting head is going to take you through a little more about Cleveland academics. Ms. Abe. I was wrong. Excuse me, everybody. I forgot I had this slide as well. Sorry about that. These are some of just the basic facts of the demographics of our school. I would say, you know, our program was founded to serve South Seattle, and we often reflect the demographics that are happening there. We're so pleased about the number of students that are taking courses that will give them options when they leave Cleveland. We have, I think, among the highest rates of 11th graders taking chemistry, for example, and a variety of AP and college and high school courses that students can take, especially in the 11th and 12th grades. I'm also really excited about the ethnic studies and Black studies courses that have already been piloted at Cleveland. Additional ethnic studies courses in our humanities department starting next year. With that, I'll pass it off to Head Counselor Ms. Claire Abe.
Hi everyone, I'm Claire Abe. I'm the SOED 10th through 12th grade counselor, and I'm going to be talking about the different courses that will be available to students at Cleveland. So for 9th grade, as you can see, there are the core academic classes that are provided for students, and our kind of progression through 10th, 11th, and 12th grades. What's unique about Cleveland is that we do have an 8-period day that allows us to have our core academic classes, as well as elective courses, and the pathway course that Ms. Brown also talked about, our SOED or SOLS classes. We do offer a progression of math as well. Most 9th graders will start off in Algebra 1. However, we do recognize that there are students that also have taken some of these math classes in middle school. So they might start off actually in geometry in 9th grade, or perhaps even Algebra 2 in 9th grade. So if they have taken Algebra 1 or Geometry middle school, we do find the right math placement by connecting with 8th grade math teachers and ensuring that they're in the right level, and then they'll progress onward into their 10th and 12th grade levels as well. We also offer a variety of elective courses. at Cleveland. We have Mandarin and Spanish as world languages at Cleveland. And we also have a wonderful music program, as you saw from our drumline, and a variety of art classes. We have a really wonderful Cleveland Publications program, or CPUB, that offers video production, graphic design, yearbook, and business and marketing classes. As well as this year, we've also added the Kingmakers class that is also in other middle schools as well, with a curriculum supporting Black male students. Additionally, as Ms. Brown mentioned, students can opt to take one of the STEM pathway classes in a different pathway as an elective as well. In students' 11th and 12th grade years, we do also offer a variety of AP, advanced placement classes, and college and the high school classes as well. So thank you so much, and I will be passing it on to our SOLS counselor, Ms. Chloe Kimiai.
Good morning, everyone. I am going to be talking a little bit about what our schedule looks like, and I apologize, my dog has decided that now would be the perfect time to start barking, so you may hear her in the background. I'm going to talk a little bit about what our schedule may look like if you were to come to Cleveland on a typical day. So as was mentioned earlier, we have 8 periods, and so because of that, we do a full block schedule. So we have 4 periods each day on Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. And then on Wednesdays, we actually have what's called our anchor day, where every class will meet for a shorter length of time, and there will be a 1-hour long advisory. So as you can see, we typically go Mondays and Thursdays, our periods like 1, 3, 5, 7, so odd days, and then we have Tuesdays and Fridays, we have even days. And because of this block schedule, we're able to have students like taking math and their humanities classes every single day, which I think has been beneficial to students as well. I'm also going to talk a little bit about some of the supports that we have here at Cleveland. As you can see, there's like a pretty long list, so I'm just going to touch on some of these. But we definitely utilize like teacher relationships and advisory. We do have a 9th grade only counselor, and then we also have 2 other counselors that work with students in 10th through 12th grade. A social worker, we have grade level success coordinators, restorative circle coordinators, a full teen health center that includes like mental health counselor, nurse practitioner, many other like support staff at school as well. But we also definitely value our community partnerships and relationships at Cleveland. So we do have a lot of community partners that come to Cleveland and work with students. For example, like UW Upward Bound or College Success Foundation, Kingmakers and Young Queens. And then we also have partnerships with different like mental health agencies in the community as well. So there's a variety of different support programs throughout that we use at Cleveland and partner with to support our students and their families. And now I'm going to pass it on to Chev, who's going to talk about restorative justice and what we do here at Cleveland.
Hey everybody, my name is Chev Gary. I'm one of our 2 restorative circle coordinators at Cleveland. And just to share a little bit about what that means. And so counselors are one of our first lines of support. We also have advisory teachers who are most connected to like students' daily schedules because they see them every day and it's not a core class. But outside of some of those supports, we also have restorative circles. And so the purpose of that is to make sure that we're supporting students in ways that sometimes don't fit into a normal school day traditionally. And so whether that means that a student's relationship has become strained with one of their teachers, or maybe with a peer or a peer group, there's times that we also will support communication between students and even family members if there's ways to help them see like why a certain type of challenge or communication is appearing. Our goal is always to help bridge communication and repair relationships, and help folks understand like what are the impacts of harm, because we are noticing more and more that even though so many times our goal is just to like be okay with each other and just do what we need to do to move forward, we notice that sometimes like we bump up against each other and cause friction in when our paths are crossing. And so I don't want to be too metaphorical, but if y'all remember what high school is like, it's not easy being a young person. And so our restorative circle process is just a way that we can lend extra support and make sure that folks are less isolated. We make sure that people can be heard, and we help take away power imbalances in ways where everyone really has a seat at the table. There is a circle request form where anyone can request a circle, whether it be a teacher, a family member, a student, or a coach. And then there's a process that folks opt into. And so that way they're not forced. It's the kind of thing where if you're willing to listen to someone and you're willing to be heard, then that's a space for you. We make sure that we always examine power and privilege, especially along ways of like race, ethnicity, gender, sexuality, age, just understanding like what are some of the things that are making us feel this way and are impacting our relationships. And last but not least, we really are student forward. And so we make sure that students are heard, and we do our best to always make sure that students feel welcome and try to make the space as safe as possible. And even when we're not holding circles, we're opening up our space to support students and connect in whatever ways are possible. So if y'all have questions about that process or want to connect with me outside of this space later, please make that known. I'll be passing it to our activities coordinator next, Mr. Casey Campbell.
Sorry, forgot to put myself off mute. What's up? I'm Mr. Campbell. I am the school's activity coordinator and also teach the business classes at Cleveland. I will be presenting the club information and also the athletics, as Mr. Hughes is at a basketball game today. And I think Chev put in, he put up a pretty high bar for me to follow. But I think at Cleveland, we try to create a community for all students to feel welcome. So you'll see that within the clubs and the athletics at our school. So the main priority there is just so that students have community and can be seen and enjoy their time at Cleveland more than, or enhance that experience as much as they can. So with that, Trissa will be playing these videos, and then I'll kind of come in after that too. And Trissa's doing a really good job. This is very difficult to be pulling up videos, so good job, Trissa.
Hi there, everybody. My name is John Hughes. I'm the athletic director at Cleveland STEM High School. I'm really excited to tell you a little bit about our sports offerings at Cleveland. We are really excited that we have a really great turnout at our school. Our athletes are students first. They really appreciate that STEM education, and they come out and have fun. We participate in the Metro League, and so what's really cool about that with the WI Sports is there's 3 seasons: fall, winter, and spring. In the fall, we have cross country, amazing program with huge turnout. Our football program, our golf program plays at Jefferson Park. We have a girls soccer team, a girls swim team, volleyball team, and of course our cheer squad exists during the fall. Another new sport that we offer that we actually won the Metro League Championship last year, and that is in the slow pitch softball. So that's girls slow pitch softball. So those are just the fall offerings. Winter, when everyone's got to go indoors, we've got boys basketball, girls basketball, boys swim, wrestling, and girls bowling. In the spring, we have baseball. We also have softball fast pitch. We have tennis, track and field, boys soccer, and of course our Ultimate Frisbee program, which is a club sport, operates through all 3 seasons. I believe the boys are in the fall, defending state champions 2020, co-ed in the winter, and then in the spring is the girls. So I'm really excited. If you want more information to find out how awesome our programs are, there's a couple ways to do that. The easiest way is to go to the website, clevelandeagles.org. That's clevelandeagles.org. There you'll see lots of photos. You'll see our Instagram link if you want to find out how we promote our sports and see all the pictures and active engagement. And I think you'll really be impressed with what we do at Cleveland. So I hope that the Cleveland Eagles are in your future. Thank you.
So at Cleveland, we have a bunch of different clubs for students to join. We have clubs from different interests. We have clubs for cooking and gaming and coding. We also have clubs specific for culture. Filipino Club, Black Student Union, Latinx Club, Mixed Student Union. So all these different clubs are ways for students to build community, find friends, and find their passions. So all that helps students feel comfortable in the building and gives them something to look forward to. So there you have it. So Trista's pulling up the slides again, so I'll give her a second there and kind of fill the space as that gets pulled up. But again, I would just want to emphasize that between athletics and clubs and activities, we just want to emphasize students and allow them to create community and enjoy their experience at Cleveland more. So there's a list of clubs that we have offered. If students have anything else that they want to create, the process is pretty easy for students to create a club. And then athletics, again, in my entire time at Cleveland, we have never cut a student from a sport, and we just want to make sure that they're all included. So there's the list of sports there. So again, we just want students to be active in creating community and building relationships with people that have similar interests. So if anyone has questions, you can always email me or Mr. Hughes about these types of things. And so with that, I'm going to pass it to Data J from Enrollment Services.
Hi, my name is Dereje. I'm Student Assignment Facilitator in Admissions Office. I speak Amharic and Oromo language. We have also Halima here, our Somali speaking facilitator. So I encourage our parents to ask on their own language if they have any questions. Here in Seattle Public Schools, we have attendance area schools where assignment is based on students' physical address, and option schools where assignment is only based on parents' requests during our open enrollment time. So as you know, Cleveland is an option high school, and enrollment must be requested during our open enrollment time. For next school year, our open enrollment time is from February 1st to February 28th. Actually, after February 28th until May 31st, we also accept late applications. Only on-time applications are eligible for those three tiebreakers, or we call them priorities. So these tiebreakers include sibling, geo-zone, and the lottery. These three tiebreakers are where when applications gives priority. So it's based on three tiebreakers. These are sibling, geo-zone, and lottery. Results for open enrollment will be announced mid of April. So parents can submit their application in two ways. One is from their source account, that they can directly go to the source account, that maybe page 2 Can you put the page 2? Yeah. So parents can directly, directly sign into their source account, and they can submit directly from the source account. That's more easier. The other thing is there is PDF form, which is available online. So parents can fill out that form and can email that to Seattle School Choice at seattleschools.org. So if you need, if parents need any language support, we have enrollment facilitators who speak Amharic, Oromo, Chinese, Somali, Spanish, and Vietnamese. So I encourage these parents just to contact us with their own language. We have direct phone numbers for our facilitators. So for Amharic and Oromo, it's 206-561-7140. For Chinese, 206-530-1499. For Somali, 206-561-7966. For Spanish, 206-472-0604. And for Vietnamese, 206-471-9386. We can put this on chat so parents can access that and just contact us for any language support. If you have any questions, we are here to help. Thank you.
We're so grateful to our partners from Enrollment Services for being here today. Thank you so much, Dereje and Halima, for being with us and for providing those excellent resources of the phone numbers that you can call to speak in languages other than English. I think the last thing I'll say, I don't know, we want to get to hear some students speaking. I just want to say that sometimes when something feels hard to get or scarce, right? When we hear that there's a wait list, when we hear that, it takes a lot to get into Cleveland, or that, it's hard to get into Cleveland, it can make us overvalue something. So I really want to say, I think Cleveland's a wonderful school, and it's been home, as you heard, to members of my family and many folks I love. There are excellent schools all over Southeast Seattle. Franklin, Rainier Beach, many other schools in this district, high schools in this district, offer a lot of great things too. So I just wanted to say that Cleveland may be right for you or your child, and some of those other schools may be as well. Let's see a little bit of Cleveland, what it looks like on the inside. I do hope that we'll have some in-person tours as well leading up to next year. But for now, here's a little glimpse of Cleveland High.
All right, so thanks for watching the school tour. The next part we're going to be heading on into is our student panel question and answer. So we're really lucky to have a good amount of students with us today to share their insights on what it's like to be a student at Cleveland and what their experiences are. And we're going to go ahead and just jump on in. So the first question we have says, describe the two SOLs, so School of Life Sciences and the School of Engineering and Design, so our SOLs and SOED pathways, and what your experiences are like in them, and why did you choose that pathway? And I'm going to go ahead and pass this to our student, Mia.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mia, and I am currently a senior at Cleveland, so a veteran. And I am in the SOLS pathway, which stands for Study of Life Sciences, and that pathway is mainly centered around like biology, the human body, physiology, and I chose that pathway because I really wasn't interested in like the technicalities of engineering, and the sciences always spoke more to me. And when I say that the STEM aspect, we're obviously a STEM school for a reason. We're like, our math and science classes are particularly super strong. We have amazing teachers teaching those classes, and like you just get to do a lot of cool things. I know, like, I remember, I think it was either sophomore or freshman year, we got to dissect rats. They were very stinky. And I know in the UW bio classes, just I think just a few days ago, they were dissecting sheep brains. And so you just get to learn a lot of things at Cleveland. You get the opportunities to do a lot of things. And it's what I love about it is that you end up genuinely learning things, and it's not just like it's not all like tests, it's not all quizzes. It's really a lot of hands-on learning experiences that not only teach you the material that you're learning, but also like collaborative skills.
I love that. Yeah, I think at Cleveland, I hear that a lot from students, is that they're actually getting a lot of hands-on skills. And even with the engineering pathway, we have students in the hallway making cars and always doing fun projects. It's really cool to see. Our next question is, what is your workload like in your classes? And I'm going to go ahead and pass this over to Vivian.
Hi, I'm Vivian, and I'm a sophomore here at Cleveland. And your workload depends a lot, like not only what classes you take, like for example, I have Spanish and advanced math, and like it really depends because like two teachers teaching the same subjects can give like totally different workloads, but like some are more relaxed and chill about it, although one common thing I see is like advanced math, you can expect a test every 1 to 2 weeks and homework every week, and electives are usually on the light side of assignments from what I've seen and like heard from my like other classmates. But like usually there's going to be a big assignment at the end of the semester with like most classes. But if it ever gets too much, you can always like tell your teachers or like talk to your friends and they can help you.
Vivian, what do you remember your workload being like when you were a freshman?
Well, since I was online, it was pretty relaxed, like because the teachers were giving less work because they were, I guess, being sympathetic, I think. And so yeah, it was pretty chill, but I would say it's more now, but not overwhelming. So.
Thank you so much for sharing. The next question is, describe your experiences with project-based learning and what does that look like in the classroom? And I'm gonna go ahead and pass it over to Mia again.
Oh boy, I absolutely love the project-based learning way that like Cleveland is structured, because yeah, I think when you're in elementary school, when you're in middle school, it's very, you get accustomed to like the traditional way of learning. Sorry, can you hear me? Oh, okay. Yeah, you get really accustomed to the traditional way of learning where, you know, you'll learn about a subject and then you'll have a quiz about it. Maybe you'll have a test about it. Maybe you have an exam about it. And there's a lot of pressure. There's like a lot of weight to do very, very well on this one big ending like assignment thing. And I feel like a lot of that stress is like not, I mean, sometimes you'll have quizzes and tests at Cleveland, but it's definitely not like held to the like weighted as much. And the projects here at Cleveland, again, there's like the way you do it is very hands-on, and usually you'll be working in a group or with another person, but the projects I think really are more valuable because they are usually like centered around like a situation or a bigger problem that you have to solve. For example, I think sophomore year we were doing a project that where we had to examine the pollution in our own local communities, and we had to go out and like measure the sound pollution, measure the air pollution by looking at like plants and seeing, like, it was just so cool, like being able to go out in our own communities, collect that data, and like usually at the end, like the end product will be like a presentation or a poster, but all the work is really cumulative, and it's not really, obviously the final project result will be weighted more than like the other smaller assignments, but it's really the amount of effort you put into the whole entire project the whole time that determines your grade. So it's nice to know that your hard work is valued over the results of just one huge major test.
I love that. Like, it's more opportunities for hands-on learning than just all the emphasis being on tests and assignments like that. Trayvon, we have another student here. Trayvon, what's your experience with project-based learning, and what do you see that look like in the classroom?
Project-based. Last project I've been a part of was my freshman year, right before everything got closed. Well, for me, I feel like, I mean, it was very fun. I never really worked with other people on a project, but ever since I went to Cleveland, I have. It's very, I feel like it's good because like the teacher won't make you do everything. Like let's say one of your classmates don't do your work, they're gonna grade you separately, but at the same time together, if that makes sense, like a participation grade and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm just glad that teachers don't like kind of grade y'all as a group. That's what I like about it, and also just working with other people. I feel like that's genuinely good. Because I didn't get to really dissect nothing because, like, you know, COVID and everything, but I feel like it's been great.
So it sounds like it's the benefits of working together in a group without the added pressure of like we're all gonna have the same grade. I like that. The next question is, how do you manage stress related to school? And we're gonna pass it over to Queen.
I feel like stress is a huge issue, just with students in general. It's very common. Everyone kind of goes through it. But a huge piece of advice I would give is take lots of breaks and like practice being present with just yourself. It's really easy to get caught up in how much you have to do and regret how you managed your time. But if you just breathe and look at what you have to do objectively and just know that you're human and give yourself time and space to actually work through that without letting that stress kind of like hold you down is really important. And so, yeah, that's how I managed my stress at school.
Thank you for sharing. Vivian, how do you manage stress at school?
Something that helps me a lot is planning and just getting all the things I need to do written down so that I can see it physically and from like a bigger picture. Like, I know you're probably told this a lot, but having something like a planner, or in my case, I like having stuff online. So I use an app called Trello, And I've used this like my freshman year, and I still use it to this day, and it has helped me like tremendously to not only like keep track of my assignments, but also like see when it's due and like organize my time. And like another piece of advice is to really learn how to separate life and school, to give yourself breaks and know when to stop and know that it's okay and know your limits.
Can I ask for a little bit more info from students? So I heard someone, I think it was Trayvon, who spoke about working in groups earlier, but I know that I've connected with a number of students over the years who mentioned that projects and group work can be really challenging. So I'm wondering if some students could elaborate on how have you been able to like build skills in working with people when it hasn't been easy?
I can answer that. As someone who struggles in like understanding, like kind of knowing where to start when it comes to projects, one thing is like knowing when to depend on your group and also like kind of be vocal about like what you know and what you don't know, because I feel like people often like forget that it's a group project and not an individual project. Like although we're getting graded like individually, the whole like product of it is made from all of us, and like individual hard work kind of like shows more and portrays more. But to answer your question more specifically, for me, like I remember freshman year, I have had like a lot of projects where I had to work with people, and it was like the first thing I would always ask, what do you understand or what do you not understand, and not to be afraid of like asking for help from the teachers, because majority of the time another person in your group or like another person from in your class will have the same questions, because at the end of the day, it's your education and you should like be vocal about it.
I feel like one thing that I'll add is that a skill that I really learned and developed at Cleveland is that when you look at the rubric, you kind of look at your group and what people kind of enjoy doing, and if you kind of break the rubric up of like what the rubric is describing, like what you would have to do for an assignment, and you kind of talk to your group and communicate and talk about like who would want to do what, and if you dedicate different parts of this rubric or different tasks to certain students, the group kind of functions better because you know what you're supposed to do, you know how you're supposed to contribute to this team, and if you show up, you show up, and if you don't, you have to show up for your team. You have to support this team so it kind of functions as a whole and it works out as a whole. And so that's some advice I would give for group learning.
I'm hearing, like, I like what you said, Queen, like you're saying, you're like pausing, like if you don't show up, actually, no, you have to show up. Like there's a level of, and I think Cleveland students in general, like I've noticed, like you all are really great at taking responsibility and seeing what part in learning like you need to step up to, and that's something as a community I think everyone does really well. The next question is, what clubs, sports, or other extracurricular activities are you in and why? And I'm gonna pass this back over to Gwen.
Right now, I'm full-time running START, so that's also another program that you're able to do once you're in junior year. You have a choice to whether to do it part-time or full-time. I'm doing it full-time, so I have no classes at Cleveland, and I'm solely focusing on like getting my high school requirements out of the way before my senior year, and also at the same time get my Associates of Arts. So that's one of the extracurricular activities that I do have. And I also play Frisbee, but I'm kind of taking a pause on it due to an injury that I had in the summer during summer league. But it's pretty fun. We need more girls, so please, if you're a girl and you're like, I'm kind of promoting my team right now because we do need girls, so please join. I'll probably be managing the team this year. But the reason why I'm in them is because like for hours and also like for freshman year, like you're required to take a PE class, but after that you're able to like kind of I forgot what it's called, but like waive it. Yeah, you can waive it. So if you're not a sports person, like if you're not a PE person, like oh, you could just do like all the other sports that you have during fall, winter, and spring to kind of wave that out of the way throughout the whole entire like your high school career. I'm also our vice president of Filipino Club. You don't have to be Filipino to join the club, so please do join. So, and the reason why I'm in it is because you can get your your service hours out of the way as you're joining the club. There's also other clubs who like does the same exact thing, but there are certain clubs that don't. So if you want to get your service hours out of the way easily, I recommend joining clubs because it's not only a way to make new friends, it's also a way to get a requirement out of the way.
I'm hearing that there's like service learning hours and then there's also PE waivers. So there's like requirements, but then there's also that piece of like you're connecting with your community and like connecting with Cleveland. The next question is going to be, what is staff like at Cleveland? And I'm going to pass it over to Duke.
Hi, my name is Duke. I'm a 12th grader here at Cleveland. The staff is like, well, for one, my mom is one of the staff members at Cleveland. So I would say the staff is really helpful. They try to understand any situation that you have, even if it's like a challenging problem. There's counselors, there's teachers that would be willing to help you out. And overall, for me, staff is just really nice and helpful.
Okay, so Duke may be a little biased, so let's pass. Thank you for sharing, Duke. I'm going to pass it over to Trayvon to also answer. What is staff like at Cleveland?
For me, the staff that I consistently go to, I feel like they are very helpful. They are there for you, even if like they didn't take a second with you out of their time. They're very caring. Because I remember I had something to talk about, and then I literally I'm not encouraging you to do this, but for me, I literally I kind of like skipped my last period just to talk to my teacher, my Kingmaker teacher, about this situation I was going through, and he literally just sat there and listened and gave me advice. And those are the kind of teachers that are at Cleveland, at least for me. And yeah, I feel like you will always find an adult there. It's very diverse, like they said. So for me, I feel like the staff are very caring and actually listen to students. They do put students first. I do enjoy that.
I love it. So it's sounding like you're like at Cleveland, you're able to find staff to connect to, and like even if it's a specific situation, like you can go and reach out to a staff and find someone to support you with what you're going through. The next question is, what was your biggest struggle with coming to Cleveland? And I'm gonna pass it over to Gwen.
When I first came to Cleveland, I kind of just solely focused on like my schoolwork. I didn't separate any times for like family or like any personal reasons, like to where my mental health was very bad, and it's almost like it's because I really am like an academically motivated person, so that's kind of just different. But the biggest struggle was like separating that life and also like that life and schoolwork, like separating that from one another was one of my biggest struggles. So an advice is like take a mental health day. Mental health day is very important. As someone who's doing full-time Running Start, I take a mental health day at least once a month to kind of just refresh and like reload, like kind of start from where you were to begin with and have a clearer mind view of everything else.
I'm looking at time. We're at 12:01. We have a couple more questions. For the next question, why do you think students should come to Cleveland? And I'm gonna pass it to Alyssa.
Hello, I'm sorry, I don't currently have a webcam right now, but I think students should come to Cleveland because, again, like the courses and the skills that you learn from the pathways and the classes that you choose and have at the school can really prepare you like for the future and the career you're in. And at the school, in terms of like support, you got a lot of support from like just students and like teachers on questions or like mental health support, just career questions. And I think it's very helpful, and they offer you a lot of like other help that it's just very chill. Like the teachers here are really chill, so I think it's no problem to just ask them for like support and help.
Thank you for sharing. Duke, why do you think students should come to Cleveland?
Yeah, just to touch a little bit more on what Lisa said, like, yeah, teachers are very helpful and they get you to where you are trying to go to. Like, I know that I went to Cleveland because just wanted to join the school, and I didn't know where I really wanted to go, but then something persuaded me, like one of the teachers that are no longer there persuaded me to go into visual arts like photography and videography. So it's just teachers help you to where you don't really know where you want to go and what I'm trying to say, but it's a really nice experience. And in my 4 years I was here, even though it was COVID, teachers made it really inviting and comfortable for you, is like what I like to say.
Thank you for sharing, Duke. Our last question, and I just want to take some time to say thank you to all the students for coming and answering these questions. We really appreciate your point of view. The last question is, what advice do you have for any new students and families who will be attending Cleveland in the fall? And I'm going to pass it over to Queen.
Okay, so my biggest piece of advice, and this is advice for any high school, is try new things, try new clubs, new sports, new hobbies, like do it all, engage with it all. It is so important and it's always worth it. Like you'll learn something new about yourself, you'll find friends, you can even learn about something you don't like, something you love. It's such a great way to engage with your community, and it's a lot harder with like the pandemic and stuff like that, but there's still clubs going on, they're virtual, there's still ways to like engage with like your like peers. It's so important to just put yourself out there, and it feels super stressful as a freshman. It feels like kind of overwhelming, but it's always worth it. Like just no one will remember, like there's nothing really to lose. And so my biggest piece of advice is just kind of put yourself out there and try as many new things as you can. It's always worth it.
Thank you for sharing. I'm here. I love that you're normalizing being a freshman can be stressful and it can be scary, but like pushing through and putting yourself out there and getting involved can really help. And then last, I'm going to pass it back to Alyssa to also answer this question. What advice do you give to new students and families?
Another advice, again, like just engage and build connections with like students or just like teachers again, because they're going to be really helpful to you like in the future, especially as a freshman, and you keep like engaging and like meeting new people. And just be prepared for a lot of like projects and just working with a lot of people, again, engaging, but yeah, that's the advice I would give.
I have one more piece of advice, just that I just remembered. I feel like it's really important to engage and surround yourself with people who reflect who you want to be and where you want to be. like if you surround yourself with negative people, like that's going to impact that experience you'll have at Cleveland and just in high school in general. So if you surround yourself with driven people or with people with similar hobbies or even just people with different perspectives, it's just that will help shape you and round you, and that will really be like the key thing to push you forward and to push you into this new chapter and era of your life. So yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing. All right, I'm gonna pass it over to Mr. Pollard to close us out. Thank you so much to the students.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Trent Pollard, and I'm one of the assistant principals here at Cleveland High School. First, I'd like to say thank you to our amazing student panel. You guys are a tough group to follow. Then I'd also like to say thank you for joining us today and getting to know Cleveland a little bit better. If you have any other questions or anything you'd like to talk about, please just put it in the chat. But again, I'd like to say thank you for being here today.